powered by Riverside FM.
Howdy, folks. Pull up a stump. Here at the Pine Grove Briar, we often talk about the way history seems to loop back on itself, like a creek finding its old bed after a flood. Tonight we're going to talk about two such loops. Two presidents, two assassinations, separated by a century, but bound by a thread so strange that they make the hair on your arms stand straight up. I want to say a great big thank you to the fine folks at the Gatlinburg Tobacconist, nestled right in the heart of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, in the Mountain Mall on Level D. Whether you're a seasoned pipe smoker or just curious about the good leaf, Gatlinburg's got a blend for every palate. These folks know their way around the tobacco barrel. Stop by the shop if you're in the Smokies, or check them out online to bring the next mountain air to your mailbox. The Gatlinburg Tobacconist, where the smoke's always smooth and the stories are even smoother. Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy. Two men who steered this nation through some of its darkest hours. And two men who met their end in ways that still haunt us. The similarities, well, they're more than just coincidence to some folks. They're uncanny. Uncanny is the word. Almost 100 years apart. Lincoln struck down in April of 1865. Kennedy in November of 1963. But that's just the beginning. Let's lay them out, for those who haven't heard these tales clustered together. Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. Kennedy, 1946. Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Kennedy, 1960. Both deeply involved in civil rights. Both had names with 7 letters. Lincoln, Kennedy. Both were shot in the head on a Friday. And both were shot in the presence of their wives. And the names of their successors. Think about it. Both vice presidents were Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, born in 1808, succeeded Lincoln. Lyndon B. Johnson, born 1908, succeeded Kennedy. Another 100-year gap, perfectly aligned. It gets even stranger. Lincoln was shot in Ford's Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln car. Now, it was a Lincoln Continental, part of the Ford Motor Company's line. So the Ford connection is there. Enough to make you pause a little, isn't it? But here's the one that's hard to shake. Lincoln's secretary, named Kennedy, advised him not to go to the theater. Kennedy's secretary, named Lincoln, advised him not to go to Dallas. Now that is truly chilling. A secretary named after the very man who would be killed? It's almost too neat. And the assassins themselves, John Wilkes Booth, born 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, born 1939. Both assassinated before they could truly stand trial for their crimes. Booth shot Lincoln in a theater and ran to a warehouse. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and ran to a theater. The reversal, it's like a mirrored image. And their deaths, too. Booth was shot in a barn by Union soldiers. Oswald was shot in a police station by Jack Ruby. Both shot before they could testify. That's pretty convenient, wouldn't you say? Zool's Woodworks on Etsy is turning out some of the finest products and goods this side of the Mississippi. Whether you're settling down for a briar full of fine pipe tobacco, or you're looking for a gift that'll knock the socks off of anybody, you'll find it at Sewell's Woodworks on Etsy. Now, these parallels are fascinating, aren't they? At least they are to me. Some folks see these as mere quirks of history. Others, they see something deeper, a pattern, a warning, or maybe a design, and that brings us to the deeper shadows that swirl around one of these tragedies in particular, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, a part of history that has fascinated me since I was just a boy and piqued my interest in conspiracies and the unsolved pieces of our past. Many pieces of this story remain a mystery to this day. Much of the evidence still covered up, although many pages of documents have become declassified, although still much of it redacted. I want to say a great big thank you to our friends at Hometown Pickleball, where friends become rivals and rivals become friends again after a few volleys. Whether you're a dinker, a smasher, or still figuring out what in the world the kitchen means, Hometown Pickleball's got your paddles, nets, and local league signups covered. It's America's fastest growing sport, and now it's got a home in your backyard. Hometown Pickleball. Bring the game, bring the laughs, and maybe a little ibuprofen. Dallas, Texas, November 22nd, 1963. The single bullet theory. The magic bullet, some call it. The Warren Commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald, acting alone, fired 3 shots from the Texas Schoolbook Depository. 1 missed, 1 struck Kennedy and Governor Connally, and then came the fatal shot to the head of President Kennedy. But from the moment that motorcade sped away from Dealey Plaza in Dallas, questions began to bloom like dandelions after a spring rain. Questions that persist to this very day. Let's start with the Zapruder film. You know, that grainy home video filmed by Abraham Zapruder on an 8mm Bell & Howell Director Series Model 414D on Kodak Kodachrome 2 safety film. The 26.6-second film shows Kennedy jolting backward after the fatal headshot. If Oswald was behind him in the depository, how does a bullet push a body backwards? It suggests a shot from the front, from the infamous grassy knoll. I have personally watched the Zapruder film thousands of times to possibly gain some insight into what really happened that day in Dallas. One of the most iconic moments of the film was when Jackie Kennedy climbed to the back of that Lincoln to retrieve brain matter from her mortally wounded husband. Now I'll ask again. If the bullet came from behind, how does it push the head and body backwards? That grassy knoll, a mound of earth and trees, and a fence, and a lot of witnesses who swore that they heard shots from that direction, not just from the Texas Schoolbook Depository. The sound echoing off of buildings, the chaos. It's easy for sound to play tricks. Or is it? Then there's Jack Ruby. The Dallas nightclub owner walks right into the police station and shoots Lee Harvey Oswald dead on live television just 2 days after the assassination. Why? To silence him? Ruby claimed he did it for Jackie, to spare her the ordeal of a trial. But most folks found that a little thin, including myself. And the sheer number of mysterious deaths that followed. Witnesses, people connected to Oswald or the investigation, dying under strange or unexplained circumstances in the years immediately after, enough to make you wonder if someone was just tying up loose ends. The theories, they spun out of Dallas like smoke from a bonfire. First there was the mafia. Kennedy, or rather his brother Bobby, was aggressively pursuing organized crime. Some say the mob had motive and means. Then there's the CIA. The agency felt betrayed by Kennedy after the Bay of Pigs fiasco. Some believe rogue elements within the CIA wanted him gone. Then there's anti-Castro Cubans, exiles who felt Kennedy abandoned them at the Bay of Pigs, seeing him as soft on communism. Then there's the military-industrial complex. Kennedy was pushing for peace, talking about withdrawing from Vietnam, challenging the burgeoning power of the military establishment. Lyndon B. Johnson, the darker theory, suggesting LBJ had a hand in it to seize power. And then there's the Umbrella Man, a figure seen in the Zapruder film open a black umbrella on a sunny day in Dealey Plaza right before the shots. Some say he was a signal man, a conspirator. He later came forward and explained it was a protest against appeasement, a symbol referencing Neville Chamberlain. But for many, the image of that open umbrella amidst the chaos remains a very chilling detail. The very nature of conspiracy is that it feeds on unanswered questions, on inconsistencies, on the sheer improbable nature of lone gunman explanations for such monumental events. With Kennedy, there were so many documents still sealed, testimonies conflicting. And so the shadows lengthen. The official story of Lee Harvey Oswald acting alone remains the conclusion of record. But for a great many Americans, including me, the question mark still hangs heavy over Dealey Plaza. Was it a lone deranged gunman? Or was Kennedy a victim of a larger, darker force at work in the heart of this nation? The similarities between Lincoln and Kennedy? Maybe they're just that. Coincidences that line up in a way that gives us pause. Or maybe, just maybe, they're the universe's way of reminding us that some wounds in history never truly heal. And some questions never truly go away. Indeed. The Pine Grove Briar sometimes offers more questions than answers. That's the nature of history, isn't it? A tangled briar patch full of thorns and hidden paths. This episode we decided not to have a mailbag segment, but if you'd like to write us, you can do so at pinegrovebriar@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to support the show, y'all know I can't even go one episode without getting my tongue tied. If you would like to support the show, I will drop a link in the description. If you haven't done so, please share, like, and subscribe wherever you are listening to our podcast. It will help keep our pipes lit and the mic hot. So, until next time, keep your pipe lit, your powder dry, your stories true, and your ears to the ground. You never know what echoes you might hear.